What's up everyone? Emily here, and today we're gonna go over the Strike Movement Haze Trainer. It has been a hot second since I've done a video. We've had quite a few life changes. I've been pretty busy. I started a new job, we had another kid. The dog you would kind of hear whine in the background of some of my videos out here, he passed away, so it's just been a crazy summer, but here we are. So I had the Haze Trainer video and notes and like my information on it, my thoughts all ready to go. So I know the shoe's been out a while. A lot of you probably have it, but I'm gonna go ahead and make the video. I think there's a lot of people that don't try Strike Movement shoes because they're not Nike, they're not Reebok, you don't hear of them quite as frequently. Although I feel like they're making a bigger appearance. But I feel like a lot of people could benefit and really like their shoes if they would just try them. So I'm gonna go ahead and make the video, share my thoughts on it. So first off, the shoe came out probably at least a year and a half ago now. It was Elijah Muhammad's like signature shoe, is the first one they released. It had his like monogram on it, like it was like gold and black, I think, with the letters Easy. I think that's his nickname. Since then, they've came out with a lot of different colorways. And they just actually released 2 more colorways this past week, kind of a light lime color and a gray color. I've worn this shoe quite a bit over the past, probably close to a year. I grabbed my all white ones for the review today, but I also have a few other colors of the shoe. I could literally wear it 24/7. I find myself when I just need a pair of shoes for whatever, like running downtown, going for a walk with the kids, I just grab these. They're super comfortable, whether you're traveling, working out, even short runs, they're really comfortable. You will not be disappointed. But first off, the upper is a very durable 3D knit fabric. So it's, I would say maybe a couple millimeters thick in most areas, and it's got basically like a 3D foam in between there that keeps its shape. It's got some extra thermal welded panels for extra durability, and a heel, and then along the laces. The tongue is pretty basic. It's nothing different than some of their shoes they've came out with as far as simplicity. It's gusseted, or it's connected to the shoe, which you can see right there, which I really like in shoes. That way your tongue, when you're working out, doesn't end up sideways, like we all know happens. Most Strike Movement shoes have this secret little stash pocket. After you tie your laces, you can stuff them up there if you want them out of the way. The laces are pretty basic, just fairly flat. The eyelets, like we talked about, is that thermal welded panel kind of makes the eyelets. There's just a hole punched in there then. There's no extra metal rings or anything, which sometimes simple is good. I'm not saying it's a good or bad thing. It drives me nuts when there's like metal rings for your eyelets and then they lose their paint like instantly, but the outsole is multi-textured, which makes for a great grip. And it's got this 3D perimeter that's a different pattern clear around the outside of the shoe. So if you look closely, we'll see if I can get it. The outer pattern is basically just circles, and the inner pattern is like almost diamond or triangular shapes in there. I have not had any trouble with the flexibility of the outsole, and it is extremely grippy. It almost feels tacky when you step down on like a rubber gym floor. Not tacky in a bad way, but extremely grippy. You can tell you have good contact with the floor. It's flat pretty much throughout. There's no major lug pattern or raised areas, as you can see. So the midsole has uniform cushioning throughout from heel to toe. It's called their Cush 50 midsole, which is their own compound of material made of EVA and EPE. So it's supposed to be ultra smooth throughout and gives a long lasting rebound. So hopefully, theoretically, the shoes and the rebound in that midsole won't wear out. That's typically what wears out in a shoe first, is the midsole. You stop getting that rebound, your feet are sore when you take them off. It cradles the foot pretty well. It's got good lateral stability. The insole is curved. It's not just, so it's got some arch support, kind of a cupped heel, perforations for air. Kind of a hex pattern on that bottom. Despite how much I've worn these, their logo has not worn off the insole, which I do appreciate. Some shoes you instantly put them on, wear them like 30 minutes, and that's already peeled off when you take them off. So the heel counter, you've got a pull tab to help put them on. The heel comes up and curves in just a tiny bit, as you can see there. Not enough to rub. I haven't had trouble with any blisters or rubbing. But because that heel is a little bit turned in, you have less issue with heel slip. I don't have any heel slip in these. The only thing that I've had trouble with the heel is that foam is broke down a little bit. Sometimes I'm notorious for not like grabbing the heel pole, putting them on correctly. I just slip my foot in so it squishes it down a little bit, and then you have to kind of work it back out, which I think it's lost a little bit of its shape maybe from the way I put them on. I have fairly wide feet. A lot of times I wear barefoot shoes intermittently, and I have trouble if shoes are too narrow, but I have not had any trouble with this toe box. It stretches a little bit, enough to fit my foot, but not to where your toes splay over the edge. These have a 4mm drop. In my head, I feel like it feels like less than that. I feel like it's not quite 0, but it's pretty close. You feel pretty good ground contact. I rarely roll forward on my toes, even during heavy squats. It's easy to keep your entire foot down in them. And that could be due to, even though it's got a 4mm drop, you maybe can stay so grounded because of the flat and sticky outsole that makes great ground contact. The main thing I probably didn't like about these shoes is the price. They are $150, which just a little higher than some CrossFit shoes nowadays, or the average. Rads are like, I think 130, Metcons are 130, Reeboks are 130 unless you get a discount. The Wad Life occasionally gives like small discounts or has small sales, and I try to watch there because it's at least like 10-15% off, which sometimes equates to free shipping. But I do feel like they're worth $150, which if you look at it, like it's 20 bucks more than your typical CrossFit shoe. And for the comfort, I definitely think they're worth it. As far as cleanliness, these are easy to wash. I've washed them once or twice, but choosing the all white ones, they obviously get dirty and they show quite a bit of dirt. But I typically just throw them in the wash machine or into the bathtub with a little Dawn dish soap and scrub them, and they come pretty clean. So like we talked, when I kind of went over and mixed the performance of the shoe in with the construction, but just to touch on a few things quickly here, the stability is second to none. I have no trouble lifting heavy, snatching, cleaning, squatting, front squatting. I stay pretty grounded. They're very flexible. They're comfortable enough to run in. In a lot of shoes, you give up a little bit of flexibility for that stability, but I don't feel like these shoes you do. They're super flexible, they are comfortable. Part of the comfort goes along with how flexible they are on a day-to-day basis, yet they are some of the most stable shoes out there right now for CrossFit. Like I said earlier, I grab them for about anything and they're very comfortable, even running. I ran like a 5K in them is all, so nothing crazy, but size-wise, I would go true to size. I typically wear 8.5 women or 7 men, and that's what these are. If anything, do not size down. If you find a cheap pair or something, go for a half size up. I think you could get away with a half size up pretty easily. My other favorite shoes that I'm wearing right now are mostly the Metcon 8s. Every now and then I'll still wear my Rads or the Nano X2, but I've been alternating pretty much between the Metcon 8s and these every day. I think if I was going to compare these to a shoe, I think they're pretty similar to the Nano 6, which everyone loved. I liked the Nano 6 quite a bit. The outsole pattern of the Nano 6 differs quite a bit, but as far as the fit and the sizing and the comfort, I think it's pretty similar. And the Nano 6, I think, was pretty universal as a favorite shoe across the board for CrossFit, especially from Reebok. So, unfortunately, I do not have any footage of me working out in this shoe. I joined the local CrossFit box again and just haven't recorded myself in them, I guess. So, hopefully my next video I will have some footage of me in the next shoes, which I think I'm going to do a review on the Metcon 8s. I seem to be wearing them a lot. I know a lot of people already have those as well, but I'm a little behind the 8 ball here. Then maybe I'll do my favorite shoes from this year. There were a lot of good shoes that came out this year. And then I also have an upcoming comparison with barefoot shoes that I've been trying. I have like 5 or 6 different pair that I've been rotating through. So stay tuned. I will hopefully get those up sooner rather than later compared to how long it took to get this video up. But thanks for watching. Let me know if you have any questions. And if I have any discounts or if I see any good deals on them, I will be sure to share that on Instagram as well.